Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to a fantastic Friday, the very first Friday back of 2023. It's been a great week. It's been good to get my toes wet and get back into the podcast, into the calls after having a couple of weeks off. Having to find my feet again and get used to the routine and the mornings and the discussion and finding the content. And I took a little bit of a break in my own personal growth, so finding that again, which is always nice. It's been a great week. We've been talking about discipline all week because that is my word for the year, shall we say. It was the one thing that I chose to focus on coming into 2023 and making a big decision to implement discipline at the core of everything. I found that sometimes in the past, I have tried to do too many things at once. Actually, this has been an ongoing development for me, as I will often shift drastically. I will go from drinking beer, sitting on the couch, not doing any exercise, and going, right, I need to change everything. So I'll become a vegetarian and I'll stop drinking beer and then alcohol altogether. And then I'll exercise every day. And then I'll push my body. And then after 3 weeks, I just burn out and crash and go back to the easy things. You know, the discipline fades away, the motivation fades away. And where am I? Back to square one? And I do these bursts all the time. And I think the more and more I learn about myself, my partner and I have had this joke over the last few months with these reels coming in with ADHD that I may actually be undiagnosed with ADHD because I can relate to a lot of these videos. But understanding that about myself and having these bursts and then sort of falling back doesn't give me any room for change. It says that I've got the motivation, the desire, and the want to change, but I'm not creating the lifestyle and I'm not changing my environment in the right way to suit who I am in order to sustain that change. Does this make sense? Chuck some ones in the chat if anyone can relate to this sort of behavior. Just before I jump into gratitude. I think in today's society, most have ADHD. Yeah, it's seeming that way. The more and more we see these reels that are coming out, it seems that like it's a very common thing, and hyper focus and all these sort of attributes that are associated with it are things that I'm realizing that I do. But I use this to understand myself better so that I can then better myself. And I think this is along the lines of what I talk about a lot. Mindset is so key to growth, but I think the key to mindset is understanding ourselves to such a level that we can utilize our strengths and our weaknesses to push us in any direction. And so I'm extremely grateful today for having that ability, having these reels come through where I can learn a little bit, where I can find a connection, where maybe I can look down a path I didn't think of looking before to try and learn more about myself. Not that, scrolling through reels all day long is the best thing, but every now and again I do for marketing purposes, and I do find myself having the same things show up thanks to the algorithms. And this has been one that's been occurring more and more for me. So I'm grateful for, I suppose, the intelligence of technology showing me the information that I clearly want to see. I'm grateful for others sharing that. And on the topic of social media, I want to be grateful. If you do decide to go and get my gratitude journal and find gratitude the way I do, I like to do 3 in the morning, 3 at night, and then 2 people, because I find finding gratitude for people really removes some judgment that sometimes you might have for others, and finding people's strengths rather than their weaknesses and finding good character traits in others is really quite powerful. So today being Friday, I thought I would do that for one person. His name's Dale. We met snowboarding. But since then, he's gone off in his journey and I've gone off on mine. But he's posted consistent exercise, consistent discipline in his physical routines. And that's really inspired me to keep going and to keep myself on track and to keep that motivation inside me. So people like that who do find the ability and the strength to just show up consistently, sometimes they don't even realize the people that they're helping. And so I would like to find gratitude for him in the sense that I often will look at his stories just to find that little bit of motivation, just to find that little bit of drive, just to find that little bit of extra oomph that I need to get me out of bed when I'm struggling. And so I'm really grateful for him, really grateful for my lovely partner as well. She's been helping me a lot with my journal, and I'm very grateful because Amazon has delivered my journal today. So I finally got my journal on my desk so I can start journaling properly this year. I can do it all hard-covered like I planned about 6 months ago. I've got all the information in here. There's a few design changes I would like to make moving forward, but with good news also sometimes comes bad. For some reason, Amazon has terminated my account. So I have no idea what's going on there. I have no idea what I'm going to do in terms of changing it, in terms of any proceeds or profits that have come from that, because I can't access any of the back end, any of the front end, any of anything. So I'm in a conversation with them, hopefully getting that back up and running so that I can continue to make this better, get paper books, try and get out the information that's in this lovely journal that I spent a few years collaborating and then putting together over the last few months. I feel is very powerful. So I'd like to get that as an ebook to some people who can't. I know in Mexico, they can't get it delivered, so an ebook might be useful. But for now, I'm kind of stuck in limbo speaking to Amazon. So all of this is part of my growth and my journey. I'm learning, I'm discovering. So even though it doesn't go the way we want, I'm still trying to find gratitude in those extra steps. I said to someone yesterday when I found out that I got terminated that maybe it's just the universe's way of telling me that the journal is so damn awesome that I need to find a publisher to get it published properly rather than through Amazon. So I'm trying to find the silver lining and the happy side to all of it. But, you know, all things worth something do come with challenges. So I've had a bit of a ramble of my gratitude today, but I am very grateful. I'm very happy it's sunny out today, which is also an amazing thing. So that's probably boosted my mood even more. I was talking yesterday about how I'm finding gratitude for the grey keeping me in and keeping me motivated, and then the sun comes out the next day. So I was up and running and feeling that energy, that extra vitamin D. So let's have a look in the chat here. And if you do feel like today is your day, you want to open up, share with the group, vocalize your gratitude, I highly recommend doing that. So read through some of these. I'm grateful for the peace that comes along with feeling grateful. It keeps expanding what I'm grateful for. I really like that. It's very in-depth. It's kind of like a gratitude inception. Grateful for the peace that comes along with feeling grateful. It keeps expanding what I'm grateful for. Exactly. And this is why I love reading out all these gratitudes, because I find that when you see what other people are grateful for, it brings enlightenment to you to be grateful for the same things. Grateful for the positivity and encouragement from myself and others. My journal is on its way as soon as Amazon is ready. Love it, Shelley. I can't wait. Awesome. I am so excited for my journal to come in. I'm excited for all of you who've got the journal on its way. I hope you enjoy it as much as I've enjoyed creating it, and I can't wait to put it into action. Probably starting next week. I'll be maybe getting this flowing. I'm very excited myself. Okay. Anyone feel like they would like to share their gratitude? It is Friday recap. Been talking about discipline all week. No one has the courage today. I will keep asking. So eventually.
I'd love to share, Jake.
Yay. There we go.
Okay, awesome. I'm just grateful for just like the mini leaps that take place in like one's journey. Yesterday I was able to face a loss on the chart, but instead of entering into an emotional state, I literally was just like, okay, what are the facts of this trade? What could have been done better? And literally just looked at the factual information and didn't go into an emotional state that just kind of said, oh, poor me, I failed, I let myself down, or whatever that language would have been. So I just feel like these baby steps of growth are just so valuable, and I'm just grateful for them. And I'm grateful that I can be aware enough of them and just take small steps forward amidst setbacks. There's still steps being taken forward. So yeah, I'm grateful for the journey.
I really love that. That's amazing. And it's such a good feeling when you can do that. You can go, that wasn't the trade. Why wasn't that not the trade? Let's have a look at it. Who cares if it wasn't the trade that went the way, but let's learn from it. And you can completely disassociate the emotional frustration and you can go into a learning mode. And I'm very, very proud of you. That's really a good step forward. And part two of that is what you're doing right now is reminiscing on that, reflecting, finding gratitude for that. And then hopefully reenacting that emotion of how good you feel that you didn't jump in emotionally. So I know it's a bit counterintuitive, but how good do you feel by not jumping in emotionally, and that you were able to look back and go, let's look at this logically. And then that pride or that joy that you've made in that step, next time you have a loss, you go back, remember that last time when I didn't jump in emotionally? Let's do that again because that felt great. And so
yeah, that's good.
Understanding that, finding gratitude for it, and then reflecting on it and realizing how proud you are and how good you should feel, because that's a great step forward, will hopefully help that, ingrain that into you. So next time you do exactly what you did this time. So congratulations. Well done. And thanks for sharing. I really appreciate that. Anybody else want to share today? No? Okay. Well, my goal is to get all of you sharing by the end of maybe the year or wherever we get to, but I will keep asking. Thank you very much, Christine. I really appreciate your input. So today, to finish off the week, we've been talking about discipline all week. We were talking about, again, Christine sharing the gap trap yesterday, which I really, really appreciated. Finding that, we are going to continue to push the boundaries, and hopefully as we grow, and this was last year, we were talking about this with Deanna, and we were discussing the concept of the comfort zone. Then I think it was the fear zone, and then the learning zone and growth zone. I have to go back and revisit those. But the idea here is that as we grow and expand, the zone that we stepped into as the fear zone will soon become the comfort zone. And then we'll have to push ourselves even further to find the next fear zone and the next growth. And then that'll eventually become comfortable. And then we'll push further, and then that'll become comfortable. And this is exactly, as Christine was saying, those baby steps on the journey. And relative to what I was saying at the start of this call, I would always go in leaps and bounds and then crumble. And what I'm learning now over this past few months, since being on these calls and running these, is that the baby steps is where it's at. It's those mini milestones. It's focusing on the task at hand for today and understanding that every day that you can focus on that task adds up to another step to the bigger goal that you want. And so acknowledging those baby steps, we were saying yesterday that success and happiness is a state of mind. And so if we can more frequently go, yeah, today I didn't get emotional about that loss. I was able to look logically. That's success. That's growth. That's development. I'm happy about this. You're choosing your state of mind to be happy and feel successful in the everyday things. And you can use this, and the compound effect works in every area of your life. And if you can find the little successful things and find happiness in the little things, the gratitude, the little wins, it's going to compound to the next day. And then you'll be in a good state of mind. You'll be in a good vibration, and then you'll find other things you can be grateful for. You'll find other small wins, and you'll start to hopefully ignore the small losses. We can choose to focus on the small losses, or find a state of mind which gets us happy about the small wins. And the more we can do that, the more it's going to compound, the more it's going to grow, the more these baby steps are going to move forward into that growth, that huge journey. Today on my jog, I really felt like it's starting to become more of a habit. Remember, I was saying just earlier in the week, discipline leads to habits. Habits lead to consistency, and consistency leads to results. So what have I done? I've been disciplined about getting myself up and going for this jog, doing my push-ups and going for a jog. At the start, it was very tiresome. Today, I had I got to do my push-ups, but then I just flawlessly went into transitioning from push-ups to jog. It was just kind of part of the routine. It started to become this habit stacking. I had to force myself to do the first, but the second is now becoming just routine part of the first one. And so what this does is it creates a flow. And now it becomes easier. Now I don't think, I got to do my push-ups. And I've got to go do the jog. It's just one. It's merged into one. So this habit is starting to form. Now this will take time and it will grow. And over time, I can take those baby steps and hopefully expand it. But the idea here is that with the discipline from the start of the first 2 weeks, pushing myself in that uncomfortable zone, getting myself, the fear of having my jiggly fat bounce around as I run around in the streets without a shirt on. Those things, those fears, those uncomfortable zones that I have to disciplinedly push myself into are now becoming less and less scary. They're becoming more and more natural. And that flow of a habit, a subconscious habit, is starting to set in. Now, of course, I still have to motivate myself. I still have hard days. I still have, when am I going to get this in? But it's becoming less and less. And this is relative to those baby steps and finding the discipline to push until it becomes habit. So the next thing I want to talk about on top of that is discipline, not in just physical, but discipline in mental. So lots of the time we think about discipline like, okay, I've got to do my jog. I've got to do my push-ups. Don't enter a trade here. Stick to my hard rules. These kind of disciplinary acts that are physical acts. But what I really want us to focus on is the discipline of the mind. Because if we can discipline the mind, the physical disciplinary acts will just follow. if I can discipline my mind to go, yay, I'm excited about jogging, the physical act of doing it isn't going to be any difficult at all. It's going to be easy because I'm excited, because I've told my mind that I'm excited. If we can discipline our minds to not have to have that battle of like, oh, should I enter? Should I not? Should I blah, 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 and go, those are the rules, just follow them. Then there's no questioning. Then there's no temptation. Then there's no want to press the button when we know we shouldn't be. So I think a lot of the time, discipline is related to a physical concept. And I think we really need to focus on disciplining the mind, which will in turn discipline the physical being and the physical things that we need to stop ourselves from doing or start ourselves doing. Does that make sense? Put some ones in the chat if you can agree that disciplining the mind is extremely important. It totally makes sense. Okay. So I guess the next question is, how do we discipline the mind? Right? So I think, and this becomes the same for any sort of habit, repetition or shock is the way to really change your state of mind. And so we need to discipline our mind so we can discipline our actions. And by doing that, we need to just repeat the things we are doing by repeating positive verbiage, by repeating good behavior, by treating ourselves like we would like to be treated. Like I was saying the other day, you know, it's not often that someone comes out of blue, pats you on the back and says, great job. Well done, Shelley. Well done, Erin. You've done great. If people aren't going to come randomly and do that, you've got to start doing it to yourself. Reward yourself for the successes that you do make. You know, this mental discipline comes from feeling good about the achievements that you've done. If you feel good, if you can relate a good emotion, a good feeling, when you do the disciplinary acts of the mind, you will subconsciously want to do them again. So we need to start rewarding ourselves for those times where we are disciplined, where we are strong in the mind. Because I mean, lots of the time people will reward you if you run a race and you win, or they'll reward you when you play some music on stage, or, you know, you'll share your account balance with people and you'll get rewarded maybe in a verbal congratulations. But it's not very often that people will reward you for, exactly as Christine was saying this morning, for example, I didn't react emotionally. My mental discipline was strong. I didn't go, bang, let's just emotionally trade. I was able to step back and look logically. And this is why I'm really proud of you for sharing, Christine, and I'm really proud of you in general, because those moments need positive reinforcement. They need a congratulations. And if you can't get it from others, you may as well start giving it to yourself. Feel proud about yourself. Feel proud about who you are. Relates to what I was saying yesterday. I'm not going to wait until I've got a six-pack to start jogging around and feel proud, because then I'm like the analogy from the chimp paradox, you know, painting, what was it? The painting on the fridge analogy, where I'm only feeling proud of myself due to the things that I've achieved. We got to start feeling proud of ourselves for the little things today. Give yourself a pat on the back when you do the mental discipline. Give yourself a pat on the back when you're doing things that may seem very, very small in the scheme of things, but they're big to you because they're going to be big in the long run. I think this whole society is very, especially coming to Germany. Germans are not very good at rewarding good behavior, but they are very good at disciplining bad behavior. And I think we need to shift this. We really need to shift it and reward good behavior. Be the change you want to see. Exactly. Life is hard enough. Like the media, everything around us is always sharing the disappointing, the negative, the bad news. We need to start sharing positive news. Put some ones in the chat if you'd happily walk up to someone and give them a compliment without thinking about it, and put some twos if that scares the shit out of you. Okay, we've got some ones. I like that. Because for me, for a long time, and still, the idea of just walking up to a stranger and being like, "You've got a really nice jacket. I really like it. Well done." Or walking off. Or, you know, "You look great today. I love your smile." These little small compliments, they terrified me. I'd be terrified of doing that. But we should make that natural and a good part of social behavior, that you can go up and give someone a compliment without feeling fearful, without feeling scared. We are way too focused on the negative, and we need to start disciplining ourselves to give positive reinforcement, to give happy, encouraging, blissful moments to people. If you go up to someone and said, "You've got a really beautiful smile," just left it at that, I can guarantee they'll go home and tell someone, and that positive vibration will go and what's it called? It'll I can't think of the word, but it'll react with the next person they see, and it will continue to compound. Let's just use compound. I can't think of the word I'm thinking of. But most people can't do that. And that's just the way we've been brought up. Now, for everyone who's got a 1 in the chat, I love that you can, and I encourage you to do it today. It's Friday. Go make someone's day. Give a random stranger a compliment. I will also try to do the same thing with the few hours that I've got left in this day. And I challenge you and everyone listening on the podcast today, go out and give a random stranger a compliment. See what it does to your feelings, how it makes you feel. Maybe it's the fear that comes from before actually saying it. Maybe trying to find the right person because you're terrified. Maybe that feeling of, yeah, I did good. I made someone happy today. These are the emotions that we need to be drawing into today, not going back and talking people down and giving people negative news. Did you hear about the bombing that happened here or the shooting that happened here? Yeah. Okay, it does happen, and it's sad that it happens, but let's not put our focus on that. What was it saying again? Energy flows where attention goes. Let's get our energy flowing to the positivity, to the happiness. Let's get our mental discipline tuned in with positive reinforcement from ourselves so that we can then discipline ourselves for the physical things, and in turn take those baby little steps to that great success that we want. I love that mini rush, knowing it's contagious. Contagious, that's the word I was looking for. Thank you, Shelley. You saved me again. I think that's 3 times this week you've helped me out. Contagious. Yes, that energy that you give to them will be contagious, and it will go on to the next person. They'll be like, come home. "Hey, darling, guess what happened to me today? I was walking along and someone said I had this beautiful smile, and oh, it's amazing." And so not only have you made their day great, you've made probably 2 or 3 people's day great because they get to share in the excitement from the other person's end. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. It's been a lovely week. I really appreciate you all coming back, starting strong. I do have some slightly negative news. I'm starting a new job, part-time job next week, which, while it allows me to be more involved in my goals, it will actually probably take out from this time slot. So I might have to shift down to 3 days a week rather than 5 days a week, but I'm still planning and still seeing if I can figure that out. See how we go next week. I might be able to finish off this month, but who knows? It does take a bit trying to get content and get things planned for every single day of the week. But we'll do my best. We might have to move it down to 3 days. We'll see if some other people are willing to jump back in like we had at the end of last year. If anyone else is willing to sort of maybe share 1 day a week, then we can have a look at that. But other than that, it's been a fantastic week. Talked all about discipline because I believe for me, that is the number one thing that's going to change me from where I am to where I want to be. And my journey as I go along, I just want to share it with you. That's all I'm here doing. My growth, my journey, and everything that comes along with it. So thank you, Jake. Have a great weekend, everyone. You're all awesome. Love you all. Yes, Jake, you've been a huge support to so many. Thank you for sharing your heart, mind, and wisdom with all of us. Thank you so much for the kind words, because honestly, these words, reading these makes a huge difference to me. Sometimes I feel like I'm talking at a screen and just talking absolute shit. So it's really nice when I hear that's actually encouraging and helping people, because that's my plan. Thank you, Jake. And wishing a good weekend for everyone. Appreciate you all who built this cast. Yes, I appreciate all of you. It's a lovely group that we've got coming back. I can't wait till next Monday where we'll speak again. Until then, enjoy your weekend. Our traders, I'll see you on the trading call. Wish you all the best to finish off the week. Hopefully we've got to go into the weekend feeling great, because I know I am. And yeah, for now, that'll be it. I'll speak to you next week. Bye.